Hello, my name is Allison Gutierrez, and I'll be talking about increasing the federal minimum wage. Minimum wage levels is a topic being heavily debated in legislators across the country and in the Capitol. The minimum wage, as shown in this graphic, was last increased to its current amount of $7.25 in 2009. Meanwhile, the cost of consumer goods has increased approximately 12%. Arguments against increasing the federal minimum wage include the idea that most minimum wage employees are teenagers, people will lose jobs, and that it's too costly for employers to pay the higher amount. But most of these arguments have been shown to be dramatized or wrong through research and studies. So what is minimum wage? Minimum wage is the lowest amount a worker can be paid per hour. A worker earning the current minimum of $7.25 will earn approximately $15,000 a year. The poverty line for a family of 4 is just over $24,000. So even a dual income household of 2 minimum wage earners would be hard pressed to make more than the poverty line. The current debate includes the effort to raise the wage to a livable wage, or in other words, a rate that would allow a full-time worker to meet their basic needs. As shown on this map, individual states can set their own minimum wage rates, and 29 currently have minimum wages higher than the federal minimum. President Obama wants Congress to lift the federal minimum to $10.10, but has faced opposition. Those that are against raising the wage argue that most minimum wage workers are teenagers or secondary earners in a well-off household. People like retirees or spouses that don't need the work. They also argue that business owners will not be able to afford the increased wages, which will lead to job losses and increased prices for goods and services. It's also argued that there are more effective ways to combat poverty, such as the Earned Income Tax Credit and other new tax laws. The Earned Income Tax Credit is only given to low-income families. The facts gathered from research and studies of cities that have implemented wage increases point to a different story. As you can see, most of those who would benefit from a wage increase are 20 years or older, not teenagers, and roughly half of them are in families making $40,000 a year or less. Also, most small businesses are in favor of raising the wage. This survey, conducted in July 2015 of small business owners, showed that 60% support a gradual increase of the wage to $12. Evidence points to the positive effect that raising the wage has on employee turnover. If people are happy at their job, then they're going to stay and not want someone to take their place. This saves money on training and hiring new employees. 600 economists, to include 7 Nobel Prize winners, wrote a letter to congressional leaders that said wage increases would have little to no negative effect on employment. The increase would actually, in fact, stimulate the economy, since the low-wage workers would then be spending their new increased earnings. This would raise business growth and increase the demand for jobs. This effect has actually been seen in Seattle, which raised its minimum wage from $9.50 to $11, and it's on its way to $15 by 2017. A study examining the impact of that first stage of raising the wages in Seattle found that the Seattle economy boomed over that period. It posted growth rates that tripled the national average, and it beat Seattle's own performance in recent years. So, as you can see, raising the minimum wage will have more positive effects than negative ones. As shown in this graphic, the minimum wage has been raised several times over the last 75 years, and real GDP, gross domestic product per capita, has steadily increased since 1938. This signals growth in the economy and tends to reflect an increase in productivity. Also, as shown by a 2014 poll, the public widely supports raising the minimum wage. Raising the wage to even $10.10 would lift millions of people above the poverty line. Therefore, I think that the federal minimum wage should be raised to a more livable wage between $12 and $15. Thank you.